Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sampson and Stephanie Phillips with Veterans in Politics for a second show. Today we have Stacy Rocheleau, Clark County District Court Judge, Family Division, Department W. But before we get to Judge Rocheleau, Ms. Phillips.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and thank you to our sponsors. We have Simplify Heating and Cooling. If you need your system checked, get in touch with them. Their website is callsimplify.com. Callsimplify.com. We also have Henderson's mayor, Michelle Romero. She's running for re-election. Her website is votemichelleromero.com. votemichelleromero.com. We also have Cody K. Whipple. He's running for Congressional District 4, and his website is codykforcongress.com, and that's the number 4. codykforcongress.com. Get in touch with him and see what his platform is all about. Also, don't forget to grab your copy of Steve's book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. You can get a copy on Amazon for $14.99. If you do not have an attorney and you can't afford one, this is a self-help book, and it will help you navigate that system. Also, we have a merch store. It's VIPImerch.com. VIPImerch.com. There's all kinds of fun stuff on there for you to check out. And also, don't forget to grab your tickets to the Valentine's Ball. It is February 7th of 2026. We have early bird tickets on sale, and you can get on either one of our Facebook pages and get the link and grab your tickets. In the last show, I had mentioned about Charlie Kirk, and everybody has seen what a tragedy that was today. It was absolutely terrible. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his entire family, his wife and children. That should never happen in our country. But I skipped my rant last time because I just wanted to talk about Charlie Kirk. But we also saw, this has been all over the news in North Carolina and Charlotte on that railway system, that Ukrainian woman, Irina Zarutska, was fatally stabbed by DeCarlos Brown, and it was on video, and that was shown. And to me, it was absolutely amazing that Judge Teresa Stokes, and I use the word judge lightly because she has no law degree. Apparently, they appoint judges. She was appointed by the county clerk back there. And this guy, DeCarlos Brown Jr., who killed this woman, he was in jail earlier this year, and this judge let him out. He was arrested 14 times prior. He had a criminal and violent history. He spent some time in prison, and as soon as he got out and got paroled, he went and assaulted his sister. His own mother didn't think he should have been released from jail. He is reportedly schizophrenic, and his past arrests include possession of a firearm by a felon, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and physical assault of his sister. And it is stunning to me that these judges, there's another one here, this judge in Minnesota gives 180 days in jail when he raped 2 girls under the age of 9. Terrible decision. Another judge in Georgia, this lady was charged with beating a 1-year-old. She was released on bail. These judges have immunity. I don't think that there should be carte blanche immunity, because these judges, for some of these decisions that they make, they let these people out and then they go reoffend. They need to be held accountable for their actions, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Rocheleau.
Rocheleau.
Oh. Is it French?
It is French, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the program.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you both for having me.
Could you give us a bio background about yourself?
Sure.
Don't leave anything out, because I know
everything. You know everything. Well, everything's on the internet, so but you gotta fact check it to make sure it's true.
True.
Let's see. I grew up here in Las Vegas. I actually grew up in Henderson, technically. Went to public schools. I went away to LA for college. In between college and law school, I took a year off, and so I came back home to here to Las Vegas. And during that year, I met my husband. He was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. Yes, Air Force guy. He's jet fixer. Avionics, public displays. So I met him, and then I turned around and went to law school in the fall. So, we did the long distance thing, and he was still in the Air Force. And after the first year of law school, he got orders to England. He was going to go to England. But, he couldn't live without me. So he proposed, and so he didn't go to England. And he came to San Diego with me, and I finished law school. And then we moved back here. So we've been married 32 years.
Kids?
3 children. I have 3 girls. I have my youngest daughter is in UNLV, her last year. She studies psychology. And then the older 2 are twins. One is in Phoenix, and one is here in Las Vegas. But none of them live at home, so we're empty nesters. So it's very quiet around the house.
Fur babies?
I have 2 dogs, beautiful dogs. I love my dogs. Take them on a walk every morning before I go to work.
Work Fridays?
I do work Fridays. I work Fridays. I work Saturdays. I work Sundays.
We just want to see who's in the courtroom on Fridays.
Well, I might not be in my courtroom on Fridays. I have 10 chamber hearings, well, more than 10, but I have at least 10 chamber hearings. I have 5 guardianship hearings, 5 domestic hearings, hearings that people don't need an oral argument for. So I hear those on Fridays. Let's see where I was. Oh, back to me. So anyway,
Back to yours.
Let's see. Oh, so after law school, I, of course, passed the bar, came here, started working.
First time.
Second time.
Okay.
And that was back in the day when they only offered it once a year. So that was tough. That was so hard. So, but I was very fortunate. I was clerking for a law firm at the time. So I continued clerking until I passed the bar, kept working for them. After a few years, I decided to go out on my own. And then I had my own law firm since 2004. And then when the seats opened up on the bench in 2020, I put my name in for Department W. And then I've been there ever since.
So you're the first judge for W.
First judge for W.
So do you have a code name for W? What do you give it?
We don't.
You don't.
I think we need to make one up.
Wonder Woman.
There you
Wonder
go.
Woman.
Oh, I like that one. And no, we don't. Just Department W.
And you're running for re-election.
I am running for
So you
re-election.
got
Yes.
the Wonder Woman thing.
Yeah.
I think that might be catchy. W for Wonder Woman.
That is
That's
good.
me. I'm right here. Come vote for me. Yeah.
Do you have an opponent yet?
Well, filing hasn't opened. Filing.
Anybody that has announced that wants
Not
to.
that I've heard of. No. Hopefully no. But you never know.
You never know.
No.
Yeah.
How these things go. It's a gambling town.
It is
So
a gambling town.
got to roll the dice.
I've seen some crazy stuff in this town.
I bet you have. I bet you have.
Ms. Phillips?
So I see these, we work with a lot of family court litigants, and I hear so many horror stories and all this. And I just heard something really disturbing the other night where you could have a father that is on the registry, tier 2 sex offender, has tested positive for meth, has a DUI, criminal history, trying to get custody of his kids. The mother is deceased, but there's a maternal grandmother that wants custody of these girls. One biological, one is a sister, but not biologically is. And with all of that record and all of those things, he would get custody because of his constitutional rights with parental rights. And that seems to supersede all this other stuff, him being on the sex offender registry and all this. That just blows my mind. Is that in the best interest of the kids? With a scenario similar or something like that?
I mean, the scenario, I guess you have to really peel back the layers of that scenario. Because the question is, it depends, right? Obviously, in the case that you heard about, it was his right to have custody. The court gave him custody.
and a child that wasn't even his, but they keep siblings together. Where they can. So,
right.
Where
was that mother?
Deceased.
Oh, that was the one that deceased.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, how long ago was it? You know, is he?
It was recent.
No, I mean the sex
recent.
Sex offense was recent.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
Less than 5 years.
How old was his child?
8, 9, 12. I mean, and it was with a minor under 14. And because it wasn't a sexual offense against his own child, and it was somebody other than his child, somehow that's looked upon differently from. Does the law look at that differently? Because that's stunning to me.
I mean, I think if you're on the registry, you're on the registry, right? I don't know that it matters if it. Well, I mean, for custody, it would matter for your own child or somebody else's, but it's a little shocking,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that here in Clark County?
In our family court. We see so many things. It's amazing. And the other thing we see where there are placements that are absolutely terrible, not feeding kids properly, not properly prepared when they're going to visits. They have a baby in their custody and no diapers, no bottle, or feeding them, things they shouldn't with a baby so young. I mean, just on and on down the line. And you have parents that are fighting for these kids, parents that are falsely accused of abusing their kids when they have medical conditions that could be construed as abuse. How come it takes so long for children to be reunited with their parents who are fighting for them? How come it takes so long when you have a foster parent that is neglecting these kids and not taking care of them properly? How come we can't file an emergency order like in 3 days and be before a judge? It takes months, weeks. I mean, it is, and every single day is so painful for these parents.
So you're talking about a dependency case? Mm-hmm. It takes months to get a hearing?
It takes a long time. Yeah. And then you have, when you're fighting CPS and you're fighting for your kids, it's months, several, and sometimes years. And I don't understand why it takes 4 weeks, 8 weeks to get before a judge when you have something so urgent like that.
So you're saying that the foster family is the one that's neglecting the children. They've got the care of the children. The parents are fighting to get the kids back. Mm-hmm. Do they have a case plan?
Mm-hmm. Done all that.
They've done all that.
Oh, yeah.
And they still don't have their kids back? No. I mean, I don't do dependency, but I believe there's federal time frames, right, that these things have to be done by. Do they have an attorney?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the time frames, but I thought that the case plan had to be completed within like a year, and then they could extend it for so many months.
Yeah, it was done in
432B.
The first 3 months. All that stuff to make you do. Some of the things that we see are just absolutely horrific. And some of the decisions that judges are making and putting these kids in the custody of some of these people is just, it's amazing. And how many times you can move a child, placement to placement to placement. This one has been moved 5 times in 9 months. 5 different and it's terrible.
Don't they try to find a placement with like a family member first?
And then when that fails, and then you have the next one, and then then you're in the system. You go to Child Haven, you go to foster
members,
and it's just around and round.
You just gotta feel for these poor kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the parents are trying to fight for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you guys see the worst of the worst, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys are in there, out there every day, doing investigations.
Mm-hmm. What kind of cases do you mostly see?
I have a split docket. I have half civil domestic, which is divorce custody, and then I have half minor guardianship. So we see the opposite end of the CPS. We see CPS doesn't remove the children from the home, but then they'll talk, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, someone into taking guardianship so that the children aren't taken to foster care or to child haven or wherever. And so then they come to my court and then we give them guardianship. And then once the parents are, once they return to suitability, then they get to kids.
How long does that take, Mom?
It depends on the parent. Really, it does. It could take 6 months, and it depends on the reason, right? Why are they just unhoused? Do they have mental health issues that they need help with? Do they have substance abuse issues that they need to take, get control over? It just really depends. So depending on the issue which necessitated the guardianship, and some parents struggle more than others, But I guess the issue that I see that we have in guardianship is like when we call it a J case, a juvenile dependency case, there's resources for the parents. They get an attorney. There's resources for the guardian or the placement. They get money. The parents get, substance abuse, rehab. They get counseling. They get bus passes. They get furniture. They have all of these resources. But that comes with the dependency case, right? Which is difficult to navigate through. Or they come to my court, get a guardianship, but all I can do is tell them, go get well. I don't have any resources. I can't get them into rehab. I can't, get them housing. I can't, my hands are tied. And so that's hard for me because I'm a mom, right? I'm a parent. And if I had an issue that necessitated my kids going with grandma or grandpa or something for a little while I got my, self fixed up, I need to know where to go to get that help, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't even know where to send them. I have no resources. I have no grants. I have no money. I have nothing to give them. I don't even have a list to say, here's some places that could take you in and help you. So the parents in my court are just like, okay, I guess I'll go figure it out.
How often do you terminate parental rights, and what threshold needs to be met for you to actually do that?
Very rarely. We're not. There are TPR cases. We call them TPR cases. Mm. We're more the private TPR. We're not the state TPR. Private citizens. A lot of them are step-parent adoptions or step-parent cases where one of the parents just has not been around, has not been involved. There's a statute in RS 128 says it's, abandonment, neglect, failure of token efforts, unfitness, things like that are what we look at. And if it's clear and convincing evidence, then we'll terminate the parental rights. I've done very few of them. And the majority of them are just the parents just aren't.
They're just gone.
They just don't
abandon them. Yeah. We've had judges in here say that they terminate rights almost every single day.
Probably with the 432B cases, I would think so. Mm-hmm. Because I think they only have one of two ways to go with the case, right? You either reunify or you terminate. I don't think they have any other way to go, right? Whereas minor guardianship, we can keep the guardianship open whenever. We can order parent visitation. We can, we can keep and actually the new statute that is going to go into effect October 1st puts a big, it strengthens parental rights. Like we have to make orders for parental visitation, or if we don't, we have to explain why it's in the best interest of the children not to give parents visitation. So, what was your question?
And it also, if you talk about your own case, if it's sealed, they'll charge you with felony.
I think it's other
SB 432. Yeah. No, even their own case, a litigant can't even say.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
there's other people's cases.
Like
I'll go back
us,
and read it.
like for us, we have to be very careful after October 1st because of what we talk about and advocate for people. And I think that bill is unconstitutional. That thing needs to be taken off the books and repealed. That felony needs to be out of there. I mean, you cannot suppress free speech. You know,
Well, that's what it is. Yeah.
that's exactly what that is. And for litigant, especially if they want to go out, we have litigants on the show that talk about their own case. They should be able to talk about that.
I would think they could talk
Case.
about their own case.
No.
Really? I'll have to
No.
go back and read it. I haven't read it.
And plus, whoever gets charged with that, it's going to go before the Supreme Court, and they're gonna kill it anyway.
Well, it's like what
It's
a
just a
class
formality, I believe.
D felony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class D
I
felony.
mean,
Yeah.
I could just might as well go and steal somebody's car and I'll be better than talk about my own family court case.
you get a lesser of the sentence, right?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But folks, I just want to, for full disclaimer, I just wanted to make sure that when I put my head down and I'm on my phone, I am sharing the show. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody on the show, just sharing the show. Somebody said something.
Already in the comments?
In
Or
my comment.
text you.
Judge Rocheleau.
Rocheleau.
You founded the Right Lawyers.
I did.
Can you tell us a little about that? And what was going through your mind when you founded it? And what was the purpose of it? What was the mission?
So it started out back in the day as just Rocheleau Law Group. That's, everybody used their name. That was just kind of what it was. And then my husband, the marketing genius that he is, came up with a name. He said, I think we should use a trade name
So
rather than.
it was your firm that you call the Right Lawyers. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I think the only family law firm at the time that had like a trade name was like Pecos Law Group. It was Bruce Shapiro's law group. But my husband said, let's do Right Lawyers. And so it was Right Lawyers since, oh gosh, I don't even know when, 2008 maybe?
Well, it's better to get the right lawyers than the wrong lawyers.
Right?
Yeah.
So the tagline is wrong marriage, right lawyers.
I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong marriage, right lawyers. Okay.
We'll fix it.
So from the time you've taken the bench, and you've been on the bench, what now, 5 years?
Yep.
And now, 5 years later, do you have a different perspective for the bench? Do you look at it differently?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
And what changed?
Oh gosh.
Is it harder than you thought?
It's a lot more work than you think. I
feel
mean,
like you're being underpaid?
I don't necessarily know that because I wasn't. I took a pay cut to do this job, right?
Already you're underpaid.
I'm already underpaid. But that was one of the choices that I made, right? That's what I felt that I wanted to do, and I felt that I could do good for the community and for the families, and so the pay isn't really, where I guess my shock was. I guess my shock was the amount of work because. So you see a judge and you see them sitting, when you go to court, and you don't think about the hours that it took to get them there. As an attorney, when you go into trial, the hours that you put in. Like we always had a rule for every hour of deposition, you're going to do 2 hours of prep time. Okay, that's, just a rule of thumb.
Billable hours.
Those are billable hours. Yeah. But so it's a lot of work because if you're in court, so my calendar runs from 9 to 12. I break at 12. Hopefully I'm done by 12. 1:30 to 5 or 1:30 to 4:30, depending on the day. There's all that work that has to happen beforehand so that I don't go and go, who are you? How many kids you got? Well, why are you here? I feel I have a duty and an obligation to be prepared, right? We only have like 15 minutes per case. So I better know why you're there, who's your family, how many kids you are, what's the dynamic, what brings you in here today, what can we resolve, what do we need to set for trial, how can I help you? So it's a lot of work.
How do you handle pro se litigants?
Pro se litigants,
That's probably 75% of
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And actually, it's a lot more than I realized when I was in private practice.
That's why we got the book.
You know what? People need it. They need it. They need help. I mean, we've got a great self-help center, you know, at the family court, but still they look at those forms and I think the numbers down the sides and they just get confused, right? It's really overwhelming. And then they come into court and it's really overwhelming. And so, you know, they're already nervous and overwhelmed and their emotions are running. So I give a lot of deference to self-represented litigants. You know, you got to let them talk. You got to let them, you know, get their story out. You know, I'm sometimes lax on the rules of, you know, evidence and, okay, you know, you served this 2 days late. You know,
if you have counsel on the other side?
It's the same way.
And they object.
Well, okay, so say they're objecting because they got served their motion 2 days late. Okay, counsel, well, we set this return, come back next week. You'll have time to review it. Or if you've had enough time to review it, then we can move forward today. So.
And their client probably wants them to move forward because people want to get through the system and get it over with.
Right.
Well,
but I don't want
some would want to delay it so they could.
Because they want more fees.
And possibly, right? So it's a constant balance. It's a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act. But I mean, I think you have to, I mean, there's a lot of resources out there. They need resources like your book. But I guess I remember that this is maybe their first time going through a divorce or their first time being in court. So I try to speak in like normal language, not like, you know, law language, so that they can understand and appreciate. And I try to like repeat, you know, okay, tell me what you're going to do when you leave here. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. So hopefully they understand the court orders. You just have to treat them with a lot of deference, you know.
We were trying to push legislation to get either a tribunal or a jury trial in family court, especially dealing with relocation of children and termination of parental rights, because termination of parental rights is a civil death. And we believe that one person should not make that decision that's going to impact this family's generation to come. Because that one person could have some type of bias.
Sure.
You know, who knows? Maybe they interpret the law differently and they use their own discretion, what have you. And a lot of judges will side with the tribunal. They don't like the jury because they figure that the jurors don't understand family court. Well, the jurors don't understand rape cases either. The jurors don't understand murder cases either, but they sit there. So I don't understand the difference between the two, but they come up with their own version. What do you think, that one person should make the decision to terminate somebody's parental rights and they'll never ever see their kid again?
So are you talking a jury, like jury of the peers, or like
jury of their peers?
Okay, not
or a tribunal. It could be two like, judges on the panel.
Okay.
That way you have three different minds.
Right? Okay. I mean, it's a very interesting. I won't even say it's an interesting. It is an interesting concept, but it's been being done in other states, right?
I believe Texas.
There's a couple of them out there.
If I'm not mistaken, Texas has jury.
Do they?
Family
for all family, divorce, custody, everything.
Domestic.
Okay.
Division of property, visitation, all that.
Yeah.
It works in Texas, but something about Nevada just can't work here because juries don't understand him. Maybe they're saying that the people in Nevada are ignorant, stupid, and the ones in Texas are a lot smarter. I don't know. I'm just trying to go by what they're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have one single judge making the decision. Let's say it's a decision to terminate parental rights. There's still that appellate process for other judges, the Court of Appeals looking down.
And with that, with all due respect, Judge, a lot of litigants don't know, don't have the time, don't understand, don't have the money to appeal a case. And then some of them don't even know that they can appeal, especially the ones that come in pro se. So they really have no idea, some of them.
Now, I know for termination of parental rights, the person whose rights are being terminated can get an attorney if they qualify for one.
See, look at that. So, and I know some litigants, they're on the street and they still can't get representation in court. Unless they had their kids with them, then they could.
No, because I've appointed an attorney for in TPR cases.
I guess it's a case by case basis.
I don't think it's like a custody case. It has to be like a criminal or TPR.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just a custody case.
Yeah, because some pro se's tell me that they said I'm not qualified for.
Well, now maybe
for
financially
counsel.
qualified.
Yeah. So, that leaves them in the pickle. And then some can't afford to go and maybe they can't afford an attorney, but they can't afford to do an appeal.
Right, because the transcripts are so expensive.
Exactly.
However, I think if they get a fee waiver, don't quote me on this, I'm not positive. I think the transcript fee might be waived as well. I don't know.
So what do you think about a tribunal?
So about a tribunal,
I know you don't like the jury one already.
No. I mean, even
Do you go with the jury one?
I have a jury box in my courtroom.
No.
I
do. You're at the RJC.
I do. And it's sitting empty and gathering dust.
You're one of what, 7 family court judges at RJC?
There are 6 of us.
6. I was one of.
Six.
So you're one of 6 at the RJC so you have a jury box.
A jury box.
But Pecos and Bananas at the family court, I haven't seen one jury box. None of those courtrooms. I even try to get in the basement.
I'm
see if they have one down
I
there.
think they're happy if they have electricity. Let alone. I've heard stories about these poor courtrooms down there.
Yeah, we need to implode the family court building and build a new one.
Build new.
Yeah, build new, because that one, people don't like that one.
I think they're
even the judges don't. Even the janitor don't like that courthouse.
Well, probably because the janitor's working overtime trying to fix the plumbing and the
electricity and the wiring and all those.
Yeah, it's not.
So tribunal.
So I guess, I mean, there's pros and cons either way, right? I mean, if you have, say, a panel of 3 judges, then you get a collective mind. You get the discussion back and forth. And then you have the tiebreaker judge, right? If there is a tie. Jury, I guess I would wonder, and I'm never done like jury trials or jury pooling, but like if you have a jury and they are parents, how would they, because they come in with their own biases too, like how would they look at a parent whose rights are being terminated? Would they look upon them favorably, or because they had been out of the picture for a length of period of time, or there had been abuse or neglect or anything, and would they look at it like a criminal action? I don't know. I don't know.
You like the tribunal?
I think the tribunal right now is, except for, the cost prohibition that we have with the appeal, it's kind of the same number of eyes looking at it as an appeal, right? But it would take the legislature to do something.
Like that.
You got to put in a statute.
We were trying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you do that this last term?
No. We've done it probably back in the 17, 18, 19, around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They didn't know after I wrote it back then.
Some of the legislators don't want to piss off the apple cart, so to speak. So they don't want to upset judges, and so they have no backbone, some of them.
The legislators.
Yeah. I need to go in there, shake things up. Put her in there too.
Mm-hmm. We will.
Shake things up.
Shake things up.
Definitely shake things up.
Yeah, I don't know that I would be opposed to it. I haven't done any research on it to see if if it would be more favorable or less favorable, or if it would be more protective of the parents' rights.
So one of their constitutional rights is the right to be trial by jury. So
that's
I forget what number that one is.
6 or 7, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if a pro se file a document, because they don't have one already made, you have to Jimmy rig one. Say they want a jury hearing, would you give it to them?
I have, yeah.
You have?
Well, here's what
Look at that,
happens.
drop my phone and everything.
Oh no! Don't drop your phone.
You have?
Well, here's what happened. You do it a jury demand. And so they did a jury demand. Judge Sloan had one too.
Really?
But what happened with both of ours is they settled before it went to trial. So we were both very upset.
They're like, my God, they want a jury trial. We just sell this thing up.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, right?
Yes.
And
I was pushing that with my litigants. I have 300 litigants in my phone.
Okay.
And I was telling them, go for a jury trial. I wonder if it was one of the ones I know.
All you have to do is file a demand for jury trial. Now, I do believe that there are some additional costs. Like you have to pay for like the jury's lunch and their parking and whatever it is,
Right.
But yeah.
Lunch and parking.
Something like that.
Might be worth it.
Don't quote me on that, but
Fine for your kids, it's priceless.
You can file for a jury demand.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know you gave one of those out. I didn't even know one was before you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
well, and it's not something that I grant or deny. It's just they say I want a jury trial and the case moves
You're
forward.
like, I got this jury box right here. Might as well
I got
use
the
this
jury
stuff.
box, might as well use it, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. That's good to know.
Yeah. All you have to do is file for it.
Okay.
So when you make orders, are you strict with the parents adhering to those?
Following my orders?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So
I don't like when people don't follow my orders.
well, we hear this all the time. You know, dad's supposed to drop off the kids at whatever daytime and he doesn't. They're supposed to have phone calls and there's no phone calls. Or, you know, he's supposed to pay child support or vice versa and they're not paying and they're behind. And the judge lets them get away with 6 months, a year, you know, way in arrears. How do you police that? How strict are you? And plus they have to keep coming to court over and over and you just backlog the system.
Right.
Because someone's not doing what you ordered them to do. A lot of judges are lax on this. They don't impose fines. There's no consequences. These people get away for years without paying child support. What do you do and how do you handle that in your courtroom?
So if you come in for a to observe, I yell a lot.
Have we been in her
At
courtroom?
people that don't follow my orders.
Oh, okay. I thought we had.
I yell at them a lot. But I'm not very scary, so I don't think that threatens them. But I threaten them to make orders, change orders, if they don't follow the court orders. I issue orders to show cause, which says you're going to be held in contempt if you don't do X, Y, Z. If they don't do X, Y, Z, then I can either monetary sanctions or jail time. Now, if it's someone that isn't paying child support, or I had this a little bit ago, he wasn't paying alimony. We knew he had the money, just wasn't paying.
Those are the ones that get away with it. They have the money,
no.
and then they don't pay. And then the judge is like, oh, whatever,
Especially if one of them is an attorney.
And they're friends with the judge.
Yeah. No, my guy went to jail. Yeah.
So did you give him one opportunity to pay by a certain day and then boom, you're in jail? Is that how it goes?
So what happened in that specific case was she filed for an order to show cause because he wasn't paying the alimony. We came to court the first time and he started paying again. Okay. A few months later, she filed again. He wasn't paying again. Oh, I'll pay. So then he paid her like a lump sum, like enough of a lump sum. And our trial was coming up. So like, okay, but you better, and I adjudicated the rest of it to judgment. So now she has a judgment. The third time he came and he said, I have it, I'll pay it. I promise I'll pay it. So that I don't believe you. You've been here 3 times. Yes, you started paying after the first time. The second time you gave a lump sum. I said, but right now, and she's standing there with an eviction notice, right? I'm going to get evicted from her house because he's not paying the alimony. I said, you've got 24 hours or you're going to jail. I said, come back in 24 hours. He actually came back 24 hours later, still hadn't made the payment. They're going to jail. They took him into jail. He sat there for 10 days and on the 11th day he paid.
That's amazing.
So unfortunately it takes that.
So how often do you do that? It seems like that took 3 times.
It took 3 times.
And these people just disregard these orders because they can get away with it. And they don't really, to me, that they're not respecting you, your position, your power to make orders and make them adhere to these orders. And you just hear this. And I think if judges were more strict and actually gave them one chance and then, that's it, maybe we would see less cases and people in court so much. And when they know that you mean business, and so many are just lenient.
And I agree with you. And I think perhaps it's the mindset of our family civil. I don't want to say family court judges, but different than criminal. So civil contempt is to compel performance, not to punish. And so we're supposed to make orders that help them decide to follow my orders. Yeah, it's not a punishment. Versus a criminal contempt is, you didn't do this, you're going to jail, I'm going to punish you. Ours isn't technically a punishment.
Maybe it should be.
Yeah.
How do you respond to critics who argue that family court sometimes favor one parent over the other parent? And especially when they say, oh, the judge is biased and they want a motion to recuse or something like that.
So are you saying, and that's just a specific case, like say, I'm biased against this litigant, or say, I'm biased against all men?
It could even be one of the two.
Okay.
Are you biased against men?
I am not. I actually...
Are you biased against women? I'm just kidding.
I'm actually not. I think this is only as a function of being married for so long and raising 3 kids together. Both parents are equally important in a child's life. Completely different parenting styles, completely different, but both are necessary. And I think the downfall of a lot of marriages is there's a lack of respect for the other's parenting style, even though the children need both, right? So I'm dad's rights, I am mom's rights, I am kids' rights. They need both parents in their lives. So bias. So if someone, like say a motion to recuse, right? I've gotten them. I think we've all gotten them. Well, we've all gotten them. One of them I did get because I'm a female judge. So my thought was, well, if you get reassigned, you might be getting another female judge. But, but
you probably will with the numbers.
Yeah. But anyway, so that one didn't get granted. There was another one because I went to law school. Or no, I didn't go to law school with the opposing counsel. I went to law school in the same city that the counsel went to during the same time. Oh. So I went to USD. He went to whatever the name of that school is. So that was a reason that one didn't get granted. So there's all these different reasons that people, a lot of times it's just because of the ruling. They don't like the ruling.
Heck, I know a judge that was roommates with one of opposing counsel, and that judge didn't get removed.
High standard, right? High bar.
You being in the same city, I'm like, oh, what the heck is that?
Like, yeah, we were both in San Diego, but
you probably never even seen each other.
Never.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, Centennial Hills is huge.
Right? Yeah.
So.
Do you guys have an equal number of cases, each judge, or do you feel that some get more than others? Like, how does that work?
It's supposed to be a random assignment. Supposed to be. I think, I don't know everybody's numbers like exactly. I think the civil domestic is supposed to have right about a 500 caseload. I have, because I have a split, so I have 50% domestic, so I have about 250 caseload domestic, and then guardianship I have about 1,800, 2,000. So combined, it's probably about 2,300.
Do you feel like you get more than others? Do you feel that it's fair the way they distribute those?
I don't feel that I'm working any more or any less than anybody else. So I would say yes. And I think a case is, you really don't know just because it's a case how much work it is, right? It could be a joint petition that is done and over with in 2 weeks, or it could be the custody battle from where that drags on for 18 years. So I would say it's fair. It's supposed to be, randomly, equally assigned. I think it's fair.
What's your caseload right now?
So I have half civil domestic, which is divorce and custody, and I have about 250 of those cases, whereas a judge that only does civil domestic has about 500. So because I have a split docket, Judge Thune and I have probably right about 250 each civil domestic, and then about 2,000 guardianship, minor guardianship.
When you first started, what was your caseload?
Oh goodness, I should have looked at those numbers for you. A lot higher, because what they do is they just like took all the cases and they just like shuffled them out, because I wasn't an existing department.
I got a two-part question for you.
Okay.
How do you deal with vexatious litigants, and do you think that some attorneys can fit in that same description as vexatious as well?
Okay. So let me take part one. How do I deal with vexatious litigants? I've never.
Non-attorneys.
Yeah, non-attorneys. I've never declared someone a vexatious litigant.
Okay.
I've had people that come back many, 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 many times. Sometimes as they're walking out the door, they go downstairs and file again. I've had it, honestly.
I'll show her.
Honestly, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning is my order. I look at the new filing and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But, that's just passion, right? They are passionate about their case. I don't think that that's necessarily vexatious, because they're not doing it to harass someone. So I've never declared someone a vexatious litigant. Attorneys. So could an attorney be a vexatious litigant? By definition, probably no, because they're not a litigant. But are some of them?
Could attorneys be vexatious?
Could they be? Well, I would say yes, because that's why the rule exists. There's EDCR 5.219 says if something is brought to harass, is vexatious, then sanctions can be awarded, either against that attorney or against that attorney's client, depending on who's being vexatious.
Have you ever done one on an attorney?
I have.
You have?
I have.
Yeah.
Not much, but I mean, you have to somehow temper, it's because they're out there, right? I'm sure you guys have seen them.
I watch videos.
Yeah, and we see them.
Yeah.
Have you ever been sued? By a litigant? Yeah, by a litigant.
By a litigant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fee disputes.
What about reversal rates? Appellate Supreme?
I don't have the best reversal rate, I will tell you that. I actually looked it up the other day. I have, and I'll tell you why. See, I have 8 affirmed, and I have 9, which, if you go to the Our Family Judges website, there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you. So my thumbs up are the affirmed. So I have 8 thumbs up. Thumbs down, I have 9. However, out of those 9, 5 of them were affirmed, but remanded for like findings or something that I didn't do. Like, for example, I had one earlier this year. I gave extensive findings on the bench, right, as to why I'm making my custody orders. I ordered one of the one of the attorneys to draft the order. She drafted the order. It didn't have all those findings in it, but I had seen other cases come down from either the Court of Appeals or Supreme Court that says, the judge stated their findings on the record, yada, yada, yada. So I signed the order. Well, so that was one of those that was affirmed. In other words, my decision was affirmed, but I had to go back and actually take what I said in court, type it into a written document, and file it. So I've had 5 of those out of the thumbs down. So I don't think it's so horrible when you look at that way.
It's not for any major thing like termination of rights.
No.
Relocation of children.
I don't know. Not relocation. No. I'd have to go back and think about what they were.
It's kind of like the fine print. When you see a reversal, you have to really look into why and
why.
Was. Yeah,
right.
What you were just explaining.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't understand what you just explained. They can go tell you to go back and do this or reverse part of it and affirm another part of it. Right. And it's not the entire, decision that was.
Not the whole picture.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a thumbs down. Like I had another one right after I took the bench. So I didn't have an admin day for 2 years, and I drove myself crazy. So I remember it was
there on Friday.
You don't have an admin day.
Oh, I prepped on the weekends, and I almost drove myself into like.
Isn't that the admin?
Well, now I have.
They use an admin
Friday.
day.
They're supposed to, but I didn't have an admin day. So, so it was I remember it was like New Year's. It was the New Year's holiday, and I remember it was my first New Year's holiday, and I was drafting this decision. I was Very, very long, very, very complicated. Well, it got appealed, and this was in 2002, I think. It got appealed. It got reversed, however, because, so when my decision came out, do you guys know the Roe case? You're supposed to make some special findings when you award sole custody. So I awarded sole custody. Well, the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals said, well, you know, at the time you made that ruling, the Roe case didn't exist, but because you ordered sole custody, you have to make all these XYZ findings. Now, we know you didn't know that when you wrote the decision, but since you wrote the decision, this Roe case has now come out. So now we're going to affirm your decision, but we want you to go back and do XYZ. Because I didn't do it the first time because the law didn't exist the first time. But that's okay. I should have known that law was coming out. I should.
That's how they got Judge Kadish when she was trying to go for a federal seat. Everybody was appointing her. I think Reed appointed her, and Heller held out.
Okay.
And Heller held out because he was saying that she was against the Second Amendment.
Okay.
And she was speaking up about it. And she goes, at the time, that's how the law was written. She goes, I'm not against the Second Amendment, but at the time, that's what the law said. Yeah. But some people just couldn't understand that. Speaking of that, what's your weakness and what's your strength?
What's my weakness and what's my strength? Oh boy. What's my weakness? I know I have many.
You should fly off your tongue then.
Oh, let's see.
Hurting children, hurting animals.
I mean, everyone says I'm a perfectionist, right? But I think that just means that on some level, I could just spend way too much time, doing things. But I think I do strive because we are under such a high burden with the Court of Appeals and with the Supreme Court. I mean, our decisions have gotten longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer because with the decisions that the Court of Appeals comes out with, there's factors, there's findings we have to make, and that's fine. But it's just the new decisions that come out just seem that they want more. They want more. So I guess as a perfectionist goes, I think I spend way too much time on them to where I'm actually getting diminishing returns, right? If I had just capped it at 25 pages, it probably would have been just as good as if I sat down for another month and they would have gotten their order out sooner. But now I took the extra time and now it's 50 pages and it's another month gone. And so I would say I just spend too much time.
If you had to be your own boss, you are your own boss basically. But what kind of annual write-up would you give yourself?
Annual write-up. Well, my husband says I'm the best employee ever.
He said that.
Yes,
okay.
I am the best employee ever. I never took maternity leave, ever.
Wow.
Ever, even with my twins.
Wow. Did you take the epidural?
Epidural.
Yes. And that needle is like this long.
I've seen it.
Well, when that doctor came out with me with that needle.
You must be kidding me. Where you gonna put that thing?
You know what happened? My husband dropped over on the floor.
Oh my God.
I'm like, wait, back to me.
Forget about him.
So yes, I did have an epidural.
Okay.
But until recently, I never even had a sick day.
Really?
Take
your vitamins?
I like to work. I never get sick. I like to work. I like to work. I like to keep busy. I loved raising my kids. I loved raising my kids, but I still love to work. And so when I was my own boss, when I was with my firm, I might leave at 4 or 5, whatever, go pick up the kids, go home, eat dinner, but then we'd sit on the counter and with our laptops at night. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's one of my.
I mentioned the Hulkster because he has this thing, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, but about take your vitamins.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
That's part of his gimmick. Take your vitamins.
Take your vitamins.
He's always telling people.
Yeah, I take my vitamins.
So, Judge
Rocheleau. Say Stacy.
Rocheleau.
Say Stacy.
Judge Rocheleau, since you've been on the bench and you've been seeing all these cases, do you have, and I know you were an attorney for some time prior to the bench, do you have a different perspective for people, or is it basically the same?
Because
I know you've probably
you mean
seen,
for like the litigants?
yeah, I know you've probably seen a lot of the horror, heard a lot of horror stories,
Yeah.
and you've probably seen stuff.
Yeah. I would say what I saw in private practice was tame compared to what I see now. And I think maybe it's because as an attorney, most of your cases are where there's an attorney on the other side. And I didn't get into the dependency or the delinquency or anything like that, those cases. So just custody and divorce. But now, I see people who are pro se litigants. So they're struggling. They're struggling financially. They're struggling emotionally. It's hard. It's really, really hard for them. And I appreciated my clients going through what they were going through. You've got to give tough love to your clients. You've got to, be there for them. You're their champion, but you've got to tell them, hey, look, you've got to get them reasonable expectations. But some of the litigants, they're struggling, right? They're in crisis. Their families are in crisis, and it's hard. At the end of the day, some days are easier, some days are harder than others, especially with a lot of these kids. So I guess really my mind has been opened because I see a lot more than I did see during my years of practice.
Do you explain your ruling?
Do I explain my ruling? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, always. Yep, always.
I always think that's a good thing to do.
I think
some
it
people
is
just
too.
won't understand.
They won't understand.
Unless you explain it.
Right.
And they'll say, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah. They might not agree with me still, but no, I think it's important for self-represented litigants to know and understand, this is why I ruled the way I did. And especially if it's something with custody, that can be changed. That's never set in stone. So, if you stop working out of town and, you're working in town now, we can change but that's why I'm making the change today. Yeah. No, I think it's important for people to understand why.
What about judicial temperament?
Judicial temperament is very, very, very important. And
because we watched you,
I get very
calm.
Really?
Yeah, we saw the calm side.
We just got a good day.
We should have came back.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back.
I'll come in from the courtroom sometimes. Like, gosh, I was so mean to that person, because they're not following my orders, or they're doing the same stupid things to their kids that I told them not to do. I really do try, because I think that's important, right? I try to give everyone their day in court, listen to them out, hear them out, explain my ruling. I do try to be very patient. I try to be polite. So I think it's very important, but it is something that I work on every day.
You ever second guess yourself once you make a decision? When you say,
a lot, because a lot of these cases could go either way, right? And you're thinking about that child and what's best for that child. I don't know. Yeah, I do. It's hard sometimes.
Do we need more family court judges? And if so, how many?
Well, I know they asked for 18, which I think only 6 of those were going to be family court. I know that everyone's working hard, right? And like I said, I now have Friday, which is my admin day, but I still have at least 10 hearings on Fridays that I do. I just don't do it verbally in court. They're all written. I still work nights. I still work weekends. But that's probably part of the job, is to do that. Do we need more? I would think with our population and just seeing some of the studies, we need more. California, for their population, I think has more judges per capita.
They're all coming here now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we need more judges to
Cut
keep
me
up
off
with
the road and everything. Pisses me off.
Yeah. So yeah, we get a dash cam.
Should
But
family?
no, I think I think our courts as a whole probably need more judges, but we're constrained by space. And, family court, there's no more room at family court, which is why 6 of us are at the RJC. I don't even think there's room at the RJC. But yeah, I mean, everyone's working very, very hard.
Isn't one of you at the Phoenix building? Is that Jacob Reynolds?
He might be over there.
Yeah, him and Annie Elvis.
Albertson.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. They are both over
Yeah.
there. Right. They had us at Clark Place for a year, and we were courtroom sharing,
Oh, wow.
which is another alternative, I guess. They could put people at Clark Place and courtroom share. I don't know. A lot of that's beyond my pay grade. I don't know the studies. I don't know the numbers. I don't know the caseloads. I try to stick with my little. I'm like a rat. I stick with my little. do my job. I do my job, and I try to do it well. And
Say something else. Maybe a cat or something.
maybe I'm a cat then.
Yeah.
I'm a cat.
Should family court judges be parents in order to be family court judges? Because that perspective is so different when you have children and you've raised children.
That's a good question. I only have experience as having children. So I don't know what the perspective would be of someone who doesn't have children. And if they would have, I think we all come in with our different perspectives. I guess if you've had, saying no stepchildren, just no children at all, just like cats and dogs. I don't know. I think that on a human level, I don't know that having children makes you appreciate a family. I don't know that that's necessarily a deal breaker that you have to have kids to be a family court judge. Well, and plus a lot of family court is not custody, right? There's businesses to divide, there's cars, there's houses, there's, a lot of financials. So, but I don't know if that's a deal breaker. It's a good question, Tom.
Do you have anything else for Judge?
Yes. Do you have a CCW and do you carry behind the bench?
So let me tell you my CCW story. So we have guns. I have a gun. And I went to get my CCW. So we go to the CCW class and go to the class, and I'm actually a very good shot. Filled out my paperwork, got my fingerprints, everything's all ready to go, right? And sitting on my desk to turn in. And when you go to your CCW class, they tell you how far you need to be aware that somebody's coming at you, right? To be prepared, to withdraw your gun, and to be able to be effective with it. And I think about those, how many feet that is or how many yards that is, and that's not a lot of yards.
No, closes in quick.
Real quick. Real quick. And I started to get scared because I think, okay, if I don't have the reaction time, if I am not practicing like I should be, I'm not going to have the time and the ability to, right? And they're going to take it and they're going to use it on me. So I never did turn in my CCW paper. So I do not have a CCW. I do not carry behind the bench. I do not carry, but I actually have been talking to my marshal. He's into guns. So we're talking guns the other day. He said, you should really go get your CCW because it's not just are people coming at you threat. He said, what if you're somewhere that you just notice a threat and they don't even know you're there? You could be helpful in that type of situation. And that reaction time.
Today?
What's that?
With
Charlie Kirk.
Oh, at Utah, right? So he's really kind of talked me, so I think I'm gonna go back and get it. Yeah. Good. I don't know if I'll carry the end bench, but at least I can carry my little gun that my husband got me for Christmas.
So
but
is there
I think I've shot twice.
is there anything that you want to discuss that we missed?
I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah. I just really appreciate the time being here.
Thank you
And
so much for coming.
yeah, being able to
Mark's going to zoom in on you.
Okay.
And you can say whatever.
Okay.
Keep me on the bench or whatever you want to say. 2 + 2 is 4. Oh, whatever. Don't be a pro se.
No, you can be a pro se. You can be a pro se.
Make sure you get an attorney.
No.
Call the
no,
right
no.
lawyers.
No, and actually, I don't know that everyone necessarily needs an attorney. I mean, there are a lot of pro ses that do a dang good job of advocating for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I know.
a darn good job.
I've seen
And
some of them.
yeah, and I've seen attorneys that say, can you ask my client that? And the client, no one knows your case better than you do, right?
Sure.
And there are pro se's out there, they know their case. And I think just guided in the right direction with, what to file and exactly what to say, they're dangerous. But yeah, no, they do a very good job. I think they do a very good job.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Stephanie, Steve, thank you for having me. I'm Stacy Rocheleau. I'm Family Court Department W. I am filing for re-election, so I will be on your ballot next year. Of course, I will be all the way down at the bottom. But as Stephanie said, we're W for Wonder Woman, and so help us W win. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Folks, that's Stacy Rocheleau, Clark County District Court Judge, Family Division, Department W. We hope that this program has been educational for you, and we're trying to have Southern Nevada know who these judges are on the bench to get ready for the 2026 election. This is Steve Sampson, Stephanie Phillips, with Veterans in Politics. Until next time.